You know what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even hard work alone. It's something much simpler yet infinitely more powerful. It's the ability to act as if you are the best. And when you do that consistently, when you truly embody that mindset, you'll discover a truth that will shake you to your core. No one is better than you. Now, before you dismiss this as arrogant nonsense, before you tell me I'm promoting some kind of toxic superiority complex, let me explain exactly what I mean. When I say act as if you are the best, I'm not talking about putting others down. I'm not talking about being cocky or dismissive of other people's abilities. I'm talking about something far more profound and transformative. I'm talking about recognizing the unlimited potential that exists within you right now. I'm talking about stepping into the version of yourself that you were always meant to become. I'm talking about operating from a place of absolute certainty in your own worth and capabilities. You see, most people spend their entire lives playing small. They walk around with their heads down, convinced that everyone else has something they don't. They look at successful people and think, well, they're just naturally gifted, or they got lucky, or they had advantages I never had. But here's what they're missing. Those successful people didn't start out believing they were extraordinary. They started out acting as if they were extraordinary, and that action created the reality. Think about this for a moment. Have you ever watched a world-class performer in action, a master musician, an elite athlete, a brilliant speaker? There's something different about how they carry themselves, isn't there? They don't seem nervous or apologetic about their excellence. They don't shrink from the spotlight. They step into it fully, completely, as if they belong there, because they've trained themselves to act as if they are the best, and through that acting, they've become the best. But here's where it gets really interesting. You don't have to wait until you're actually the best to start acting like it. In fact, you can't become the best until you start acting like it. It's not a reward for achievement. It's the foundation of achievement. I can already hear some of you thinking, but what if I'm not ready? What if I don't have the skills yet? What if people find out I'm just pretending? And to that I say, everyone is pretending at first. Every single person who has ever achieved anything significant started by acting as if they could do something before they actually could. When you act as if you're the best, you're not lying to yourself or to others. You're accessing a truth that already exists within you. You're tapping into the unlimited potential that's been waiting for you to claim it. You're stepping into the person you were always meant to become. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you're about to give a presentation at work. You've prepared, you know your material, but you're nervous, your hands are shaking, your voice might crack, and you're convinced everyone will see right through you. Now, what do you think will happen if you walk into that room with that energy? But what if instead you took a moment before walking in and said to yourself, I am the best person to deliver this message. My insights are valuable, my perspective is unique, and this audience is lucky to hear from me. What if you straightened your shoulders, looked people in the eye, and spoke with the confidence of someone who absolutely belongs in that room? Do you think that might change the outcome? Of course it would. Not because you suddenly became more knowledgeable or skilled, but because you accessed a different version of yourself. You acted as if you were the best, and in doing so, you became the best version of yourself in that moment. This principle applies to every single area of your life. In your relationships, act as if you are the best partner, the best friend, the best family member. What would that look like? How would you show up? How would you communicate? How would you love? In your career, act as if you are the best at what you do. How would you approach your work? What standards would you set for yourself? How would you interact with colleagues and clients? In your health and fitness, act as if you are in the best shape of your life. How would you treat your body? What would you eat? How would you move? What habits would you cultivate? Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds like fake it till you make it. And in a way, it is. But here's the thing about human psychology. We become what we consistently do. If you consistently act confident, you become confident. If you consistently make excellent choices, you become excellent. If you consistently carry yourself like the best, you become the best. The mind is incredibly powerful, but it's also incredibly simple in some ways. It believes what you tell it through your actions. When you act as if you are the best, you're programming your subconscious mind to see yourself as the best. And once your mind accepts that identity, it will work tirelessly to make it true. But here's where most people get this wrong. They think acting as if you're the best means being perfect. They think it means never failing, never making mistakes, never showing vulnerability. That's not what I'm talking about at all. The truly best people in any field fail all the time. They make mistakes constantly, they show vulnerability regularly, but here's the difference. They don't let those failures define them. They see them as part of the process, as stepping stones to greatness, as necessary ingredients in the recipe for success. When you act as if you are the best, you're not saying you'll never fail. You're saying you'll fail with dignity, learn from every setback and come back stronger. You're saying you'll treat your failures as feedback, not as evidence of your inadequacy. Let me tell you something about the most successful people I've ever met. They all have one thing in common. They see themselves as the best at what they do, even when objective evidence might suggest otherwise. They carry themselves with a quiet confidence that says, I belong here. I have value to offer. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And you know what happens when you radiate that kind of energy? People respond to it. Opportunities appear. Doors open. Not because you're manipulating anyone, but because confidence is magnetic. Excellence is attractive. When you truly believe you're the best, others start to believe it too. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Some of you are worried about arrogance. You're thinking, if I act like I'm the best, won't people think I'm cocky or self-absorbed? Here's the truth. There's a massive difference between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Confidence says, I'm the best version of myself. Arrogance puts others down. Confidence lifts everyone up. When you truly act as if you are the best, you're so secure in your own worth that you can freely celebrate others' success without feeling threatened. In fact, when you act as if you are the best, you start to see the best in everyone around you. You recognize excellence wherever you find it because you're not threatened by it. You know there's enough success to go around. You understand that other people's greatness doesn't diminish your own. Think about the ripple effect of this mindset. When you show up as the best version of yourself, you give others permission to do the same. You create an environment where excellence is the norm, where people feel inspired to raise their own standards. You become a catalyst for greatness in everyone you encounter. But let's get practical for a moment. How do you actually start acting as if you are the best? It begins with your thoughts. Pay attention to that inner voice that's constantly running commentary on your life. What is it telling you? Is it saying you're not good enough, or who do you think you are? If so, it's time to change the script. Start each day by reminding yourself, I am the best at what I do. I have unique gifts and talents that the world needs. I deserve success, happiness, and fulfillment. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it becomes as natural as breathing. Next, look at your body language. How do you carry yourself? Do you walk with your head down, shoulders slumped, trying to make yourself invisible? Or do you stand tall, make eye contact, and move through the world with purpose and confidence? Your body language communicates to others, but more importantly, it communicates to your own subconscious mind. Change your posture and you'll change your mindset. Walk like the best, sit like the best, speak like the best. Your body will teach your mind how to feel. Let's talk about your environment. The best people in any field surround themselves with excellence. They choose their friends carefully. They consume high-quality content. They invest in beautiful, inspiring spaces. What does your environment say about you? Does it reflect someone who sees themselves as the best, or someone who's settling for mediocrity? This isn't about money or material possessions. It's about standards. It's about caring enough about yourself to create an environment that supports your growth and reflects your highest aspirations. Now, let's address fear. Because fear is what stops most people from acting as if they're the best. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of responsibility. But here's what I want you to understand. Fear is just an emotion. It's not a fact. It's not a command. It's just information. When you feel fear, instead of running from it, lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? Usually it's telling you that you're about to do something important, something that matters, something that will help you grow. Fear is often a sign that you're on the right track. The best people in the world feel fear all the time. The difference is they don't let fear make their decisions for them. They feel the fear and act anyway. They use fear as fuel, as motivation, as a sign that they're pushing their boundaries and expanding their comfort zone. When you act as if you are the best, you're not eliminating fear. You're developing a different relationship with it. You're saying, fear, I see you, I acknowledge you, but you don't get to drive. I'm in control here. Let's talk about standards for a moment. When you act as if you are the best, you naturally raise your standards in every area of your life. You stop accepting mediocrity from yourself and others. You demand excellence, not out of perfectionism, but out of self-respect. This means you become more selective about how you spend your time. You stop engaging in activities that don't align with your goals or values. You start saying no to things that drain your energy and yes to things that energize and inspire you. It means you become more intentional about your relationships. You stop tolerating people who bring negativity into your life. You start gravitating toward people who challenge you, support you, and inspire you to be better. It means you become more conscious about what you put into your body and mind. You choose foods that nourish you, content that educates or inspires you, thoughts that empower you. This isn't about being harsh or judgmental. It's about recognizing that you are valuable, that your time and energy are precious, and that you deserve to live a life that reflects that truth. Now, let's discuss the compound effect of acting as if you are the best. Like compound interest, the benefits of this mindset accumulate over time. At first, the changes might be subtle. You might stand a little taller, speak a little clearer, take on slightly bigger challenges. But as weeks and months pass, these small changes add up to dramatic transformations. You start attracting different opportunities. People begin to see you differently. Most importantly, you begin to see yourself differently. You develop what I call quiet confidence, a deep, unshakable belief in your own worth and capabilities that doesn't need external validation. You stop seeking approval from others because you've learned to approve of yourself. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're too busy competing with your own potential. This is when the magic really happens. This is when you realize that the statement, "No one is better than you," isn't arrogance, it's truth. Not because you're superior to others, but because you've learned to access the unlimited potential that was always within you. You see, the truth is that every human being has the same basic capacity for greatness. We all have access to the same fundamental resources: time, energy, attention, choice. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who don't isn't talent or luck or circumstances. It's the decision to act as if they are capable of extraordinary things. When you make that decision, when you commit to acting as if you are the best, you join a small group of people who have figured out one of life's greatest secrets. You don't have to wait for permission to be great. You don't have to wait for someone else to believe in you. You don't have to wait until you have all the answers or all the skills or all the confidence. You can start right now, exactly where you are, with exactly what you have. You can decide today to carry yourself like the best. You can choose to speak like the best, think like the best, act like the best, and in doing so, you can become the best. But remember, this isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every morning, you have to choose again to act as if you are the best. Every interaction, every challenge, every opportunity is a chance to embody this mindset more fully. Some days will be easier than others. Some days you'll feel like you're on top of the world. Other days you'll feel like an imposter. That's normal. That's human. The key is to keep acting as if you are the best, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because here's what I've learned after years of studying human potential and peak performance: feelings follow actions, not the other way around. You don't have to feel like the best to act like the best, but when you consistently act like the best, you will eventually feel like the best. Think about the person you could become if you fully embrace this mindset. Imagine yourself 6 months from now having consistently acted as if you are the best at what you do. How would you be different? What would you have accomplished? How would people perceive you? How would you perceive yourself? Now imagine yourself 5 years from now having spent 5 full years acting as if you are the best. What would your life look like? What impact would you have made? What legacy would you be building? This isn't fantasy. This isn't wishful thinking. This is what happens when you align your actions with your highest potential. This is what happens when you stop playing small and start playing at the level you were always meant to play at. The world needs you to act as if you are the best. It needs your unique gifts, your distinctive perspective, your individual contribution. You have something to offer that no one else can offer in quite the same way. But you can only offer it if you believe it's valuable. You can only share it if you act as if it matters. So I challenge you today, start acting as if you are the best at what you do. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now. in this moment. With your next breath, your next word, your next action, stand up a little straighter, speak a little clearer, think a little bigger. Act as if you are exactly who you were meant to be, the best version of yourself. Because when you do, you'll discover something remarkable. You'll realize that no one is better than you, not because you're superior to others, but because you've finally learned to see yourself as you truly are, unlimited, capable, and destined for greatness. The only question is, are you ready to act like it? Let me tell you something that might blow your mind. Every single day, you have thousands of opportunities to act as if you are the best. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you're making choices about how to show up in the world. Most people sleepwalk through these moments, but when you act as if you are the best, you become intensely aware of each opportunity. Think about how you start your morning. Do you hit the snooze button 3 times and drag yourself out of bed? Or do you spring up with purpose and energy? The best people in the world understand that how you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. They act as if their morning routine is the foundation of their success, because it is. When you act as if you are the best, you treat your morning like a champion would. You get up when you say you're going to get up. You move your body. You feed your mind with something positive. You set clear intentions for the day ahead. You don't leave your morning to chance because you know that winners don't hope for good days, they create them. But it goes deeper than routines and habits. When you truly act as if you are the best, you develop what I call championship consciousness. This is a state of mind where you see every interaction, every task, every challenge as an opportunity to demonstrate excellence. You don't phone it in, you don't do the bare minimum, you bring your A game to everything, not because you have to, but because that's who you are. Now, I know some of you are thinking, that sounds exhausting. I can't be on all the time. And you're right, you can't maintain peak intensity every moment of every day. But here's what you're missing. When you act as if you are the best, excellence becomes effortless. It becomes your default setting. You don't have to force it because it's simply who you are. Think about a professional athlete. They don't have to psych themselves up to run fast or jump high during practice. They've trained their body and mind to operate at a high level naturally. That's what happens when you consistently act as if you are the best. Excellence becomes your natural state. Let's talk about something that holds a lot of people back. The fear of being judged. When you decide to act as if you are the best, you're going to stand out, you're going to be different. Some people might notice and not all of them will understand or appreciate what you're doing. But here's what you need to understand. Their judgment says nothing about you and everything about them. People who criticize others for striving for excellence are usually people who have given up on their own potential. They've settled for mediocrity. And seeing someone else refuse to settle triggers their own insecurities. Don't let their limitation become your limitation. Don't let their fear hold you back from becoming who you're meant to be. When you act as if you are the best, you're not trying to prove anything to anyone else. You're honoring the potential within yourself. You're being true to who you really are underneath all the self-doubt and conditioning. You're living authentically, and authentic living always attracts some criticism from those who are living inauthentically. But here's the beautiful thing. For every person who judges you for acting as if you are the best, there will be 10 people who are inspired by it. There will be people who see your confidence and think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. There will be people who are waiting for someone to show them what's possible. You could be that person for them. Let's explore how this mindset affects your ability to handle setbacks. Because make no mistake, when you start acting as if you are the best, you're going to face challenges. You're going to encounter obstacles. You're going to experience failures. But here's the difference. When you act as if you are the best, you develop an unshakable resilience. You understand that setbacks are not evidence of your inadequacy. They're evidence that you're pushing boundaries. You know that every champion has faced defeat. Every innovator has faced rejection. Every leader has faced criticism. The difference is they didn't let those experiences define them. They used them as fuel. When you act as if you are the best, failure becomes feedback. Rejection becomes redirection. Criticism becomes coaching. You develop what I call failure immunity. Not because you stop failing, but because you stop being afraid of failure. You realize that the only real failure is the failure to try. Now, let's talk about something crucial. The difference between acting as if you are the best and actually being the best. Here's the paradox. The only way to become the best is to act as if you already are the best. You can't wait until you have all the skills, all the experience, all the credentials. You have to start operating from that place of excellence before you've earned it in the traditional sense. This is what separates the champions from the wannabes. Champions don't wait for permission to be great. They don't wait for someone else to tell them they're ready. They give themselves permission. They act as if they're ready, and in doing so, they become ready. Think about the most successful people in your field. I guarantee you, at some point early in their careers, they were acting as if they were better than their current results suggested. They were carrying themselves with a confidence that their resume didn't yet justify. They were thinking bigger thoughts, setting higher standards, and making bolder moves than their current position warranted. And that's exactly what made them successful. Their actions created their reality. Their confidence became competence. Their belief became achievement. Let's dive deeper into the practical applications of this mindset. When you act as if you are the best, you make different choices about everything. You choose different books to read, different podcasts to listen to, different conversations to engage in. You realize that your inputs determine your outputs. So you become incredibly selective about what you allow into your mind. You start consuming content that challenges you, that stretches your thinking, that exposes you to new ideas and possibilities. You stop wasting time on gossip, drama, and negativity. You understand that champions don't have time for small talk. They're too busy having important conversations. This extends to your physical environment as well. When you act as if you are the best, you create spaces that reflect that identity. Your workspace becomes organized and inspiring. Your living space becomes a sanctuary that supports your goals and dreams. You understand that your environment shapes your mindset, so you craft it deliberately. Now, let's address something that might be troubling some of you. You might be thinking, but what if I'm in a situation where I'm clearly not the best? What if I'm surrounded by people who are obviously more skilled, more experienced, more successful than me? Here's what I want you to understand. Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean pretending you have skills you don't have. It means bringing your absolute best to whatever situation you're in. It means operating with the confidence that you belong wherever you are, that you have something valuable to contribute, that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Even if you're the least experienced person in the room, you can still act as if you are the best version of yourself. You can still bring enthusiasm, curiosity, and a willingness to learn. You can still carry yourself with dignity and speak with confidence about what you do know. In fact, being around people who are more skilled than you is one of the greatest gifts you can receive. It's an opportunity to raise your game, to learn from the best, to absorb their energy and mindset. When you act as if you are the best, you don't feel intimidated by excellence. You're inspired by it. Let's talk about the power of language when you're acting as if you are the best. The words you use, both in your self-talk and in your communication with others, have incredible power. They shape your reality, influence your emotions, and program your subconscious mind. When you act as if you are the best, you eliminate weak language from your vocabulary. You stop saying things like "I'll try" and start saying "I will." You stop saying "I hope" and start saying "I know." You stop saying "I can't" and start asking "How can I?" You also become more conscious of how you talk about yourself to others. You stop self-deprecating humor. You stop minimizing your accomplishments. You stop apologizing for your success. You learn to receive compliments gracefully and speak about your achievements with confidence. This isn't about being boastful or arrogant. It's about being honest about your value and worth. It's about refusing to diminish yourself to make others feel comfortable. When you act as if you are the best, you model self-respect for everyone around you. Now let's explore how this mindset affects your relationships. When you act as if you are the best, you naturally attract higher quality relationships. You stop tolerating people who drain your energy or undermine your confidence. You start gravitating toward people who celebrate your success and challenge you to grow. This isn't about being elitist or exclusive. It's about recognizing that your relationships are one of the most important factors in your success and happiness. When you act as if you are the best, you understand that you become like the people you spend the most time with, so you choose those people carefully. You also become a better friend, partner, and family member. When you're operating from a place of confidence and self-worth, you have more to give to others. You're not needy or insecure. You're not constantly seeking validation or approval. You're able to love others from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. Let's talk about money and financial success. When you act as if you are the best, Your relationship with money changes dramatically. You stop thinking in terms of scarcity and start thinking in terms of abundance. You stop undercharging for your services or undervaluing your contributions. You start demanding and receiving compensation that reflects your true worth. This isn't about being greedy or materialistic. It's about understanding that money is simply a tool, and tools should be used to create value and make a positive impact. When you act as if you are the best, you see money as a resource that allows you to do more good in the world, not as a source of security or status. You also become smarter about financial decisions. You stop making choices based on fear or limitation. You start making choices based on possibility and potential. You invest in yourself, in your education, in your development, because you understand that you are your greatest asset. Now, let's discuss the physical aspect of acting as if you are the best. Your body language, your posture, your energy, all of these communicate to the world who you think you are. When you act as if you are the best, you carry yourself differently. You stand taller, you make eye contact, you speak with authority, you move through the world with intention and purpose. People can sense this energy from across the room. They're drawn to it, inspired by it, influenced by it. But here's what's even more important. Your body language affects your own psychology. When you carry yourself like a champion, you start to feel like a champion. When you move with confidence, you develop confidence. Your physiology influences your psychology in powerful ways. This is why I encourage you to start paying attention to how you carry yourself. Are you slouching or standing tall? Are you looking down or making eye contact? Are you speaking quietly or projecting your voice? These might seem like small things, but they have a massive impact on how you feel about yourself and how others perceive you. Let's explore the spiritual dimension of acting as if you are the best. I'm not talking about religion necessarily, but about connecting with something larger than yourself. When you act as if you are the best, you're not just trying to achieve personal success, you're trying to fulfill your purpose, to make your unique contribution to the world. You understand that you have been given gifts and talents, not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. You see your success as a responsibility, not just an opportunity. You're driven by a desire to serve, to create value, to make a difference. This gives your efforts a deeper meaning and purpose. It's not just about personal achievement, it's about fulfilling your destiny. It's about becoming who you were meant to be and doing what you were meant to do. When you operate from this place, you tap into a source of energy and motivation that goes beyond personal ambition. You're powered by purpose, driven by service, motivated by love. This is when acting as if you are the best becomes not just a strategy for success, but a way of life. Let me share something with you that might surprise you. The people who achieve the greatest success in life are often the ones who started with the least. They didn't have advantages or connections or resources. What they had was an unshakable belief in their own potential and a willingness to act on that belief. They acted as if they were the best long before they had any evidence to support that belief. They carried themselves with confidence when they had every reason to doubt themselves. They took bold action when safer options were available. They refused to accept limitations that others tried to place on them. This is the power of acting as if you are the best. It's not about your current circumstances. It's about your future possibilities. It's not about where you are. It's about where you're going. It's not about what you have. It's about what you're capable of becoming. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with this thought. You are one decision away from a completely different life. You are one choice away from accessing potential you never knew you had. You are one moment away from stepping into the person you were always meant to be. That decision, that choice, that moment, it's happening right now. In this instant, you can decide to start acting as if you are the best. You can choose to stop playing small, stop making excuses, stop waiting for permission. You can decide to step into your greatness starting today. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. The world needs your unique gifts, your distinctive perspective, your individual contribution. But it can only receive these gifts if you're willing to act as if they're valuable, if you're willing to act as if you are the best. So I ask you again, are you ready to act like it? Are you ready to discover that no one is better than you? Are you ready to unlock the unlimited potential that's been waiting inside you all along? The time for playing small is over. The time for acting as if you are the best is now.